Alright, so at this time we're going to go ahead and install our accelerator pump assembly. So you obviously have your accelerator pump diaphragm, your accelerator pump arm and body, your accelerator pump spring. Ford uses this little piece in their accelerator pump system, then our 4 screws. Now in this case we're not gonna, this came with the kit, but we're not gonna use this rod because we have kind of an abnormal design with our accelerator pump lever. So the first thing we're going to do is put this little rubber piece in, and you want to look in your carb body here. There should be a larger hole in the center that this piece is going to go through, and you're just going to grab it from behind and give it a little tug and pull it through. And when you put this in, you want to make sure that nipple is showing on the other side. So, and again, if there's multiple holes, you want to make sure that it's in the centermost hole. So, from there, we're going to set our spring on, and the larger diameter part of the spring is going to set in the cup. Now we have our diaphragm here. Now this piece is where our arm pushes against, so it's going to go face up. We'll go ahead and usually this lever's off here, but in this case it's still on. Now considering this is a stock engine, I'm going to put it in this position closest to the body because it's going to give us less shot from the accelerator pump. Should make good engine vacuum, so we shouldn't need to help it much. So we'll go ahead and go with that setting. So anyway, we're going to put our diaphragm on here. Flip our body around. Get all our holes lined up and run these screws in. Again, when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you always have the right screws for the application. They're all longer and shorter than each other. So again, you want to pay close attention. If they bottom out, you don't want to force them because you'll just you'll be destroying stuff. So obviously you're going to put them in and tighten them in a cross pattern, and you should be good to go on that assembly. Alright, so moving on to our accelerator pump and booster assemblies here. What's included here is obviously your booster and accelerator pump, and with one of them being your primary and one of them being your secondary, it being very easy to tell because your primary here has some porting for your accelerator pump, while your secondary booster assembly does not. So we obviously have our booster gaskets, and then our flow screw, our hollow flow screw here with our flow weight, and then our accelerator pump ball there, and then this air dispersion plate, and then obviously our 2 gaskets for our screw, and I guess a third gasket for your secondary screw. One thing you want to be mindful of is when you do these assemblies, you want to make sure you put all your accelerator pump pieces in your primary side. Now your primary side is the side with your accelerator pump diaphragm here, so it's real simple. So we're going to go ahead and we'll go through the primary side, as the secondary is pretty self-explanatory. So we're just going to simply drop our check ball in. Now if you do have leaking problems, it's supposed to seal on this check ball, so you can take a little punch, and I've already done this, but you put the punch down and top that ball and very, very, very lightly tap that ball. You don't want to put any divots in that ball or get it wedged in this body, because then it's ruined. So you only want to do this if it leaks, and I used a brass punch myself in particular so that I wouldn't damage the ball. So again, don't mess with it unless you have to. So I just did because I had the proper tools. So anyway, we threw the ball in. We're going to throw our, we're going to slide our weight here inside of our screw. We're going to take our booster assembly here and drop our gasket down and over. Now there's a little lip, so you want to make sure you get it good down and over that lip so you don't distort your gasket. So we're going to go ahead and then set our primary, again you want the squirters on this booster assembly, our primary assembly on there, and then our dispersion plate. Now they gave me 2 gaskets, so I'm going to go ahead and use them as I don't trust the sealing around this plate. So it's going to simply go, actually we're going to put it on our screw here first, so it's going to go gasket and then our plate here and then gasket. And we're going to, without losing, remember we have that rod in there, and then we're just going to drop that whole assembly on in there. And then from there you're just going to simply, you got your gasket here on the bottom of your secondary nozzles, so we'll just drop that on in there and then drop our dummy screw in that's just holds the boosters on, and we'll tighten that down, and that pretty much concludes your booster assembly.